Welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would do a bit of a book review. So I mentioned just a little while ago that I had basically done a summer TBR because things were just too busy and hectic that trying to getting any real reading done lately has been almost impossible. So my main goal was to try and get through the Kane series by Riordan. There are 3 books, and I have briefly talked about them in previous videos, so I'll kind of skim over the other 2. But I finally got through the third one, and I have to say I really got into that one. So before I jump into that one, because it's still really fresh in my mind, is why I'm doing this video now. Okay, so the first book, The Red Pyramid, again, this follows 2 kids. So it was a brother and a sister, and although they're siblings, they have both led 2 very different lives. You know, the mother has passed on, and so the sister gets raised or left with the grandparents, and the father takes the son and go on their own way. So while they're siblings, they've been divided and they don't spend or see a ton of time together. So, you know, they go along, and as their stories continue, the dad, disappears, and now the kids are forced to come together to figure out what's going on. And coming across everything or going through all this, trying to figure it out, they discover that they're magicians, and there is a whole lot more to their family history that they ever even thought could be possible. So Sadie being the sister, Carter being the brother, they go through this journey and they have to figure out what their powers are, how to control them, what they can do, what they can't do. And it is quite the journey. The first book I got through pretty quickly. I really rather enjoyed. It's based on Egyptian gods and goddesses, so there's a lot of names in here. There's definitely a lot of humorous moments. I really enjoyed how this was written. It was, I don't know what the technical term of it is, but they jump back and forth between, I guess it's done in a narrator sense where the brother and sister are telling the story of what has already happened. So they're going through and they're telling you the story, and the 2 of them jump back and forth, taking turns on who's talking in each chapter. They don't split off in the middle of the chapter. It's always one chapter's Carter, one chapter's Sadie, and sometimes it's 2, and it kind of goes on like that. But there's a lot of sibling bickering that goes on between the 2 of them, and it honestly, because there are some moments in the book where they're really quite serious, having those moments breaks it up quite a bit. It adds some humor to it. So I end up laughing a lot because some of the different sibling bits that go on back and forth in your own family you can find within this book, and I really enjoyed it. Now, the second book, as I said in a previous video, honestly, I'm surprised I even finished it. I really loved the first book, and honestly, they could have stopped at the first one. It was done well enough. Yeah, there is a little bit of a tie-in, but they could have left it at book 1. Book 1 was good. Getting into book 2, the story was good, but it was just too damn slow. The story could have been done in a shorter or thinner book, but instead it was just drawn really far out as far as I'm concerned. There was so much detail. It's like, they would go on and they would accomplish something, and then all of a sudden they'd go on this tangent and it would get a little drawn out, and then it would hit another moment and be good for a bit, and then it would get drawn out again. So, there was a lot of this back and forth, so it was really hard to finish the book. But I'm really glad I did. The second and the third one are interlinked, so if you read one, you kind of have to read the other. And after reading the second one, I was really nervous about reading the third one. I was a little apprehensive just because I wasn't sure, but after reading the first one, I had some hope that maybe it was still good. And I can tell you, I am really glad that I picked it up, started it, and finished it. It took me very little time to finish this one. Honestly, it starts basically right after the events of the second one, and it just goes from there. There's very few down moments. They didn't draw things out nearly as bad as they did in the second one. So the third one is basically, for the lack of a better way to put it, the apocalypse is coming down them yet again. It's like every single book they have to prevent another apocalypse of sorts. And this one is, the ultimate big bad. So, they go through it, and there is so much bantering back and forth between the siblings and everything else. There is a little bit of a love story that happens between, the sister and some other characters. And honestly, because I'm trying really hard not to give spoilers, no, I really, really enjoyed this book. If you're looking for a good story, this would definitely be worth reading. I really, really enjoyed it. The ending, it all gets wrapped up in a neat little bow, for a lack of a better way to put it. It has a beginning, a middle, and end, and it was definitely something worth reading. So, and now, at the end of this one, there was a small chapter done connecting the main character Carter to another series. So it looks like it looks like he's got 2 other series coming out or already out. So the next one's called The Heroes of Olympus, and this one seems to tie the 2 of them together a little bit. So, The Lost Hero, The Son of Neptune, The Mark of Athena, The House of Hades, and The Blood of Olympus. So I'm hoping, with a little bit of luck, I'll be able to pick those up, because now I'm kind of curious as to what the connection is there. Although they're completely different. So this one was based on Egyptian gods and goddesses, and the next one is based on Greek. So should be very interesting to see how that goes. All right, so thank you again so much for watching and listening to my book chat rant. If you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you get notified of my next video. If you are an existing subscriber and you're watching this, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.